In today's video we're going to swatch some new watercolours. So I did a video I think last week showing you kind of what colours I have and what companies I've been collecting some watercolours off, and today we're going to swatch them. So I'm really excited about this. There's some really beautiful colours here and very unique and unusual ones as well. So I did a kind of a preparatory, just kind of walking you through which colours that I have, but today I actually was just squeezing some of them out onto a dot card and preparing that for a video, and these were the Wallace Seymour ones. They were the only ones that I've kind of collected in a tube, and here's the dot card here. And when I was squeezing them out, there was quite a bit of gum arabic, or binder separation from the pigment, and in some of the tubes the pigment was so hard that I had to actually use I used like a metal crochet hook, a really small one, to actually get them out. So you can see here there's super beautiful range of colours, and I've heard only good things and they are really gorgeous, but I got a bit worried because it was hard to, you can see there, like even the Malachite is not the same colour as the on the tube, and the Rubies is also a little bit darker, so I was a little bit nervous. And so I just wanted to get everything into these pans straight away. I was worried, like, did I just kind of lose 3 months worth of collecting colours? And I didn't want to sort of steer you guys wrong in showing you something that, the product may not have been up to scratch. So anyway, you can see here I'm going to pour each one into the pan with you on camera, and that was Velvet Rose, so you can see that came out beautifully. So some of them come out really well, like I think this is Borders Red, and some of them are coming out really nice, and some of them you'll see start to separate. So I think that was Torridon Sandstone. That's one of my favorites. It seems to be that all my favorites had a little bit of a problem here with the separation. This one is, I think that one was Sasso Rosso, something like that. And then this one is the Rubies. And you will see here, like, I am struggling to get any paint come out at all. So what I ended up doing was actually just getting a metal crochet hook, a really tiny one. You can get these like at Walmart and stuff, but I just had one on my desk, so you can use just something, or you could probably cut the tube open. But I was just really nervous, and so I wanted to get this done. But what I found is the colours do swatch out, like they, what am I trying to say? That was Cinabrese, and you can see there that it was quite liquid as well. What I'm trying to say is they do harden up in the pans and they re-wet very nicely, and you can paint with them. That was my biggest problem. So we just did the Citadella Gray, and now we're doing the Shimmer Iron Glimmer, and this is actually one of my favorites as well, and this one I had a hard time with as well. So because it was so hard to squeeze out of the tube, I was worried that if I could get the paint into the half pan, would I still be able to re-wet it and use it as paint or not? And yes, you can once you get it into the half pan, but I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I don't know if this is common for this brand, or if I've gotten old tubes that were maybe sitting there for too long. I'm not sure, but I still can use it as watercolour, and so I was quite happy about that. But you can see there that the Malachite is more like a green earth colour, so I wasn't happy about that. And then I didn't actually, and then we have the grey, it's a grey slate pale, and that is a really pretty colour as well. So we'll look through all these and swatch them. There is, they are beautiful. And then here we have the colours of the Iron Range. You can see how well these are wrapped, and these are a really lovely paint to have and to use. So I really do highly recommend them. The colours that I got were actually Porphyry Violet Ochre, which is one of my faves, and then Thulite, which is an absolute favourite of mine. It's kind of, I'll show you, but it's kind of a mix between Shell Pink and Potter's Pink, so it's a really light pink, but it's very earthy and pretty. And then here we have, I think I got Buff Titanium as well, so I had never actually tried Buff Titanium before, but I like the look of theirs. I thought it looked a little bit more towards a bit of a grayer version, but I think I would probably prefer sort of a grey titanium, which I don't really need. I have a couple of other greys that I'll show you. So I'm actually showing you a sketchbook that we're going to make in a couple of weeks, but what I'm showing you is that painting there. That is the only page that I've done with these Earth Mineral Arts paints, and I just wanted you to see that the half pans are almost, you know, only 3/4 or a half full, most of them, so which, you know, they're quite expensive, and then you don't get a full half pan, so that was a bit of a shock. So from there I got Violet Hematite, Lichen and Sage, Shell Harp Light, the Antique Silver, and Starfish, which I actually thought was a neon yellow, and it turned out to be a sort of not a neon that I prefer. So but they are beautiful and unique colours. And then here we have the Nibs, and the paint is gorgeous. It's just like, I feel like for the price you don't quite get enough. And then here is the Nibs pens and inks. I love her shop, and I have bought these several times. So this is Bluebell, Germain and Azalea, and these I've bought them for myself and they keep getting absconded, but they're really nice. Everyone seems to really like them. And you can see on all of them that I'm keeping the packaging. I like to put that in my journal, and it just helps me remember. So here as well, you can see the difference in the half pans there. So the hot pink was Nibs pens and inks, and the one on the right was the Earth Mineral Arts. And it's almost double the price of the Nibs pens and inks. So I really love Nibs pens and inks shop. And then here we have I actually put some of this art graph into a half pan. I just used a sort of craft knife to cut that out and put it into a half pan, because I love using it, and I think I'll use it more often if it's right there in my palette. I actually haven't got a palette yet for these, so I have one in mind, but once I get the palette I will get that all set up and like do a proper palette sort of swatch for you. But this, like a palette tour, but today we're just going to swatch these colours and swatch some sort of in reference to ones that I already have or ones you may know, so that you can get a bit of an idea here. And you can see there that I went through and just tapped a bit of water onto the paints that I felt were hard to re-wet, or probably all these paints I would say need a little dollop of water on them, so they can, and a few minutes for that to help the paint to reactivate. But you can see here the first one we did was the Shimmer Iron Glimmer, and I absolutely love it. The second one is the Antique Silver from Earth Mineral Arts, and it's very, very hard to re-wet. You can see here that I really struggle to get any of this onto the actual page. I feel like both of these first two colours though would work really beautifully as the final layer of a painting. So if you do the underpainting and you do all the glazes you want, and then these would be ones that you put on top of those other ones, or ones that you mix with another colour. So next to these two, I just wanted to swatch out Hematite because it's one that I always use, and the granulation of the Shimmer Iron Glimmer, well, the colour reminded me of this, so I thought it would be nice just to swatch that out and see the differences. One is They're both earth colours. One has a shimmer and one is just a really soft granulation. This next one here, and I'll do close-ups of all these soon. So the next one is Hematite Violet, which is also a really gorgeous one, but I think sometimes for me it's a little bit too dark. So that's why I like the Porphyry Violet, which is the one I just swatched. And then this next one is Côte d'Azur Violet. I got this one from, from Rivervale a few years ago, and all of her paints are so, they still re-wet beautifully and work beautifully. So I really love the Rivervale shop. I was looking for some of these colours because I wasn't sure if, I could get them all the time. And Colours of the Iron Rage does do a Côte d'Azur Violet as well. So it's a lighter one. It's got a bit of grain in it. It's quite pretty. And then the next one is a Beam Paints one. This is actually a freebie they put in the order, so it was really lovely. I got a free paintbrush and a free paint stone, and I believe this is their Cherry. And then this next one here that I swatched is my own Lilac Rose, and this one here that I'm swatching is the Velvet Rose from Wallace Seymour. So I feel like those colours are a little bit similar but with differences, so I wanted to swatch those together. Okay, this next row is my favourite. This is Thulite from Colours of the Iron Range, and then I will swatch the Thulite from Rivervale. And I think the only difference is the Rivervale one has a little bit of a brown undertone. I think it's the cinnamon she uses as the preservative. I wonder if rosemary is a clearer oil, but it is a preservative. I wonder if that would change the undertone, but I still love it. And then here we have, that's Rubies from Wallace Seymour, which is actually a little bit darker than on the on the tube, but it's a really gorgeous colour. So it's a really dusky sort of pink, and you can see some of those I'm using off the dot card because I'm trying to check if it does re-wet, because those ones are already dry, and it does. And so this next one I'm using is Morning Peach from Beam Paints. I really love her paint stones, so they do need a minute with water to activate, but they're really beautiful colours. There's quite a few there I'd like to try as well. And then next to that is the Cinabresa from Wallace Seymour, which is a gorgeous colour. It's sort of their skin tone, Caucasian skin tone, but it's a really, really pretty, I am really drawn to these kind of peachy colours, so I really like it. Okay, the one I just did was the Sasso Rosso from Wallace Seymour, and the next one is Torrid and Sandstone. So these are two gorgeous colours as well. The Sasso Rosso has some actual granules and grain in it, which this is what I really love about these, the texture in them. And like I said, I feel like they will be really nice in paintings. This next one is Shell Harp Light. So I didn't actually like this as much as I thought I would, but again, it's still a beautiful quality paint. So what I'm showing you here is Potter's Pink, and then I also, so you can see it's a little bit darker than the Thulite. And then what else? Oh yeah, I show you the Jaune Brilliant No. 2 from Holbein, which I always use, and I actually like the Cinabresa a bit more and the Morning Peach a bit more. So and then this one here is Naples Yellow Reddish by Schmincke. So again, I like the other two, the Morning Peach and the Cinabresa, a lot more than those two. They're quite complex colours. And then I'm just swatching out the Shell Pink there, so you can kind of see that the Thulite's in between those two. But I feel like with the Jaune Brilliant No. 2, I'm always having to mix it because it's a bit garish in its natural tone. But with those other two, I think they'll be a little bit better to use normally. So I'm just going to give you a close-up here so you can see sort of the beautiful textures in all these paints. I think it brings a little bit more dimension to the page and to the painting, so I'm really excited to try these out. And if you have any experience with the vintage watercolours, the Wallace Seymour ones, can you let us know down below? Is it normal for the tubes to come like that? What we can expect? Okay, so we are working on the other colours now, and sort of we've done the warm colours, now we're doing the cool colours. So the first one here I swatch is Bluebell, and then I think this one here is a Wallace Seymour Indanthrone. So Indanthrone, I wanted to try it. I usually use indigo or cobalt blue, but I thought I'd give this one a shot. And it's actually comes out a lot darker again on the tube, but it's really nice and easy to use. And then we have Germain, which I love, and then this one is actually a Wallace Seymour one as well, which is gorgeous. This is Blue John. So this is a genuine colour, and it's actually a little bit like Sugarlite without the sparkle, so I will show you those side by side a bit later on. So this next one is Beam Paints, and this is their Slate. I believe it's the Slate colour paint stone, so it's a gorgeous one as well. Next we have the Citadella Gray by Wallace Seymour, which is also a beautiful one. It's a bit lighter and it's got the texture in it. So this next one is from Rivervale, and this is called Verdigris, and this is actually a pretty close match to the Fuchsite but without the sparkle. So I know some of you might be looking for a colour like that without the sparkle, and this would be it. And then we have here, this is the Malachite by Rivervale. So this is what I'm expecting a Malachite to look like. And again, this is quite similar to, it's not quite as bright as the Sommelier Emerald Green, but it's the similar kind of hue, and it's got the really nice granulation in it, so that might be something that you could interchange. So you can see that that's the Malachite from Wallace Seymour, and it's nothing like a Malachite. Colours of the Iron range also has a Malachite. And Stone Ground Paint, I haven't tried their paints yet, but they actually look really nice. They have a Malachite as well. So this next one is, I just swatched the Lichen and Sage, and now I'm swatching the, I think it's Horton Cumbria Green Slate Pale or something like that. It's quite a long name, but it's kind of almost in between the Lichen and Sage and the Slate from Beam Paints. So I really do, I'm kind of drawn to these kind of eucalyptus and sage colours. And then this one here is the Buff Titanium from Colours of the Iron range. And then I'm going to swatch the Green Earth Light from Wallace Seymour. So I actually thought this would be a bit lighter than it is. The colour on the tube was a bit like a pickle, like literally looks like a pickle. And so it's not really something that I would like in my palette, but I think my brother would like it, so I'm just going to forward the tube on. So what I just swatched was the Colours of the Iron range Green Umber, and I felt like it was the same as the Daniel Smith German greenish raw umber. Now I think they are the same pigment and they're pretty similar, but I really love the Colours of the Iron range one as well. So it's my kind of olive, it's like an olive black. And that was sent as a freebie, so I'm really glad they sent that because I really like it. And I will probably add that to my palette once that one's gone. So you can see here I've just swatched out the Daniel Smith Fuchsite, and this is the Sommelier Emerald Green. So you can see from the Verdigris and the Malachite above that they're quite similar in tone. So if you have one, you don't necessarily need the other unless you're looking for the different qualities, but you might be looking for the different qualities and a similar tone. So I thought I'd swatch those for you. And then this is the Sugarlite next to the Blue John. So they're pretty similar. They're both sort of a lavender grey, that kind of dusky colour that I like. But the Sugarlite has the sparkle and the Blue John is again without sparkle, but it's got the really nice texture.